Narcotics Enforcement Division intercepted a product which we think is really unique, and we wanted to bring awareness of this product to our community, particularly given the holiday tonight. So here to give you some information on this product and how we got it is the commander of our Narcotics Enforcement Division. This is Captain Chuck Hamby. Without further ado, I'll give it to him.
Thanks. Thanks everybody for coming. We grabbed this stuff in the process of our normal duties earlier this week, just 2 days ago. So we wanted to get it out as soon as possible for the community. This is the first time that we've seen these manufactured marijuana-infused products here in Prince George's County. And what we ended up in this one is 6 different varieties, and I think 4 different manufacturers, all claiming to contain 100 milligrams of THC in each dose. Some of them are claiming that have multiple doses in each one, like this one, and some of them are claiming it's 100 milligrams for the whole candy bar, like this one. They're all chocolate except for this particular Karma candy is like a taffy. So it's treated just like marijuana would be. It would be sold the same way, consumed just like you would eat candy or taffy. So it's new for this particular area.
How did you intercept these?
I'm not really going to go into this one because it's a live investigation, and the reason is because it's a live investigation. We wanted to get this out to the community as soon as possible, though. Like Lieutenant Alexander said, the timing is what it is. If you look at this stuff, if you raid your kids' Halloween candy and pull out the peppermint patties or whatever you like, and you're not paying any attention, you could easily, or a kid could easily open one of these up and eat it. If it were to get into the stream of candy, it's relatively innocuous if you look at it. So just for the safety of the community and with the holiday season, we wanted to get it out right away.
Were they all from one seizure?
Yes.
Do you have any indication that they were going to be handed out to trick-or-treaters?
There's no indication of that at all. No, not at all. But you never know what might happen, and since it's here, we got this. It's the first time we've seen it. Better safe than sorry.
What about the THC content? I mean, marijuana these days is more potent than years past, so how does it relate?
That's a good question, and one that I've had quite a few discussions about. There's no standard measure. A lab doesn't examine this and determine the quantity of THC that's in it. The manufacturer is claiming that is how much THC that's in it. Our lab can determine it, and it's field tested positive for marijuana. So get that out of the way. There's no guarantee like several other products that this does carry that exact amount of THC. So as far as that's concerned, and to speak to your point about the quality or purity level of marijuana on the street right now, it's higher than it was several years ago. But even so, this batch of marijuana is not necessarily as strong as this batch of marijuana. So.
But I think maybe what she's asking is, if it is 100, how potent is that potentially? Could that kill a child if they got a hold of it?
As far as overdose, and let's make sure we're defining it the same way. Overdose being death, like you just stated. Never say never, because human bodies and drugs are what they are. But it's almost impossible to overdose to death marijuana. It just can't suppress the respiration like other drugs can. Overdose being sick, going to the hospital, I think that's very probable. And since you brought it up, that's a good question. If by chance some of this did, or any other substance ended up in a child's candy and they get sick, my advice would take them to have a medical examination and take the substance that they ingested with you, and let a medical professional make that determination.
Because how dangerous is this sort of thing to a child?
I would consider it as dangerous as if you let them smoke marijuana. I would never do that or consume any drug that you don't know what's going into a child or an adult, for that matter. You don't know what's in this. It's claiming to have at least 100 milligrams of THC in each dose. This one is claiming to have 100 milligrams of THC in each little square, and it has a warning on the side that says, extremely potent, do not eat all at once. So take that for what it's worth.
It's the first time you've seen it in this county.
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
think with legalization cropping up elsewhere that this is just the beginning?
It's hard to tell. I mean, this is a product that's manufactured, so if there's a demand for it, it's going to show up. There's always been a strong demand for illicit drugs everywhere in the country, not necessarily just here. So I think logic would dictate if this is what it claims to be, I would think that it would probably flow just like marijuana would flow.
And yeah, how much that candy would be worth on the street here?
It's funny you mentioned that. We were having a discussion about that too. This is, you know, the new thing. So it's like any new product. It would. My expectation is it would command a higher price, just because you can't get it here. All this you can find on the internet in Colorado. It's all. The one that was kind of difficult to find was this one, but all the rest of them are pretty easy to find. So if you go to Colorado, apparently it's not a problem. But here, it's brand new. I would think that the price would be pretty high for it, and then it would take time for the market to determine the value of it. Just about.
Hundreds, thousands?
It'd be, well, it's like anything, you know. You can sell it for whatever somebody's going to pay for it, right? Depending on the amount of money and what it's worth. If you want to use it for whatever reason, this is a unique product compared to regular marijuana. So it would be the market would drive the price.
Any idea that this was planned for distribution versus personal use? You know, I would think it's common sense that while it's legal in Colorado, you can't legally bring it here.
Correct. That's correct. Right. As far as transporting it here and it being here, it's an illegal substance in Maryland. This is just like marijuana. For distribution, absolutely. Right. Yeah. This is all in one box. This is a lot.
But whoever was supposed to get it, you think they were going to then distribute it, sell it?
It all came from Colorado?
Yes, ma'am.
And then how much of it? Is this everything?
This is everything that we have. Now, this is an ongoing investigation we're working with, and we work almost all of our cases with other agencies because of the regional nature of drug trafficking. This one we work with Maryland Area Drug Task Force and one of my units. So everybody's in on this as far as the whole region. This isn't just a Prince George's County thing on the impact that it could have or the work that went into getting it sitting right here.
The seizure involved all adults, no kids.
Correct.
no
Absolutely. Yeah.
teens, no.
Yep. Absolutely.
How are you able to distinguish this from regular candy?
That's a good question. I mean, if you look at it, it has a very appealing packaging. I mean, it's lighthearted. It looks like, especially this one, looks like little kids' candy. Candy with a K. I know that when my kids were younger, they would buy candy in the same little plastic containers like this, and these look like chocolate bars, and they are. So you'd have to look at them. Now, if as an adult, if you look at the labels, that there's no hiding it. It's written right on here that they're medical or marijuana, cannabis infused, marijuana-infused. So it's written on here. It's not hidden in any way. Every single product out here, it's well written. They have, and every one of them claim to have 100 milligrams of THC. So.
But that being said, parents need to look at the candy bags tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is a good example of the reason why. I honestly don't believe any of this was destined for any candy bag, but things happen that we aren't really prepared for. So absolutely, parents need to look at what their kids bring home and eat, and maybe look at it before they sample it themselves, because that's not out of the ordinary either.
Where has the innocence gone?
Say again. I'm sorry.
Where has the innocence gone?
That's probably not a question that I am nearly qualified to answer.
Can you just touch on the fact of marketing to kids? I mean, how much more concerning is this, that this is attractive to young teens or kids being packaged the way it is, versus what else you all see on the streets?
Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from. I mean, really, the way that I view that from that perspective is that might be a question and an issue for Colorado, where this came from, because that's where it's being produced and marketed, and some enterprising organization got some of it out here. If this was something that was being manufactured, and it's not, it's manufactured and sold in Maryland, I think that's something for our political leaders to get involved in and make sure that it's absolutely doesn't look anything like. I mean, we do that with highly caffeinated drinks. So maybe this is something that should have the same kind of concern. I would say definitely so.